Johnny Rodriguez, born Juan Raul Davis Rodriguez on December 10, 1951, was an American country music singer. He was a Tejano and Texas country music singer, infusing his music with Latin sounds, and even singing verses of songs in Spanish. Johnny Rodriguez had an estimated net worth of $5 million at the time of his demise. He accumulated the impressive sum from his successful career, endorsements, and business ventures. In the small town of Sabinal, Texas, Johnny Rodriguez grew up surrounded by a large family of 10 siblings in a modest four-room home just 90 miles from the Mexican border. Despite his humble beginnings, he showed promise early on, excelling academically, serving as an altar boy, and even becoming captain of his junior high football team. But tragedy struck during his teenage years. His father succumbed to cancer when Johnny was just 16, and a year later, his older brother Andres died in a car accident. These losses sent Rodriguez into a downward spiral, leading to brushes with the law by the time he was 18. While in jail in 1969 for what was either a petty theft incident involving a goat or an unpaid fine, depending on which version of the story one believes, Rodriguez's talent didn't go unnoticed. He often sang to pass time in his cell, and a Texas Ranger named Joaquin Jackson was struck by his voice. Jackson introduced Rodriguez to a promoter, Happy Shahan, who gave him a performing job at Alamo Village, a tourist attraction. It was there in 1971 that country music artist Tom T. Hall and Bobby Bare discovered him and encouraged him to move to Nashville. With just a guitar and $14 to his name, Rodriguez made the leap to Music City. Once in Nashville, Hall took him under his wing, allowing him to front his band and write songs. Before long, Rodriguez secured an audition with Mercury Records by performing 2 songs, I Can't Stop Loving You and If I Left Up to You, earning himself a recording contract. He began work in Mercury's Nashville studio, and soon after his debut single, Pass Me By, If You're Only Passing Through, made waves in 1972 by reaching number 9 on the country charts. Rodriguez quickly rose to fame, becoming one of country music's breakout stars of the 1970s and the first prominent Mexican-American artist in the genre. The following year, in 1973, he scored his first number 1 hit with You Always Come Back to Hurting Me, followed by Riding My Thumb to Mexico, which he wrote himself. Both songs also crossed over to the Billboard Hot 100, reflecting his broad appeal. That same year, his debut album topped the country charts, and the Country Music Association nominated him for Male Vocalist of the Year. His star power led to television appearances on shows like Adam, 12, and The Dating Game. In 1975, he achieved another trifecta, with all 3 of his singles that year, I Just Can't Get Her Out of My Mind, Just Get Up and Close the Door, and Love Put a Song in My Heart, reaching number 1 on the country charts. His success extended to covers of well-known artists, including George Harrison and Mickey Newbury, solidifying his place within the outlaw country movement alongside contemporaries like Bobby Bare and Tom T. Hall. As the outlaw era waned, Rodriguez worked to maintain his relevance. In 1979, he moved to Epic Records and collaborated with producer Billy Sherrill. His first hit with Epic was Down on the Rio Grande, which reached number 6. His debut album, with Epic Rodriguez, consisted entirely of cover songs but still found an audience. While his chart dominance faded, he continued to have top 20 hits and remained a strong concert draw. However, the 1980s also brought personal challenges, most notably a struggle with drug addiction. Rodriguez's career included duets, such as his 1982 collaboration with Zella Lair on Most Beautiful Girl La Chica Mas Linda, and he returned to the top 5 with Foolin' in 1983, followed by How Could I Love Her So Much, a top 10 hit. Yet, by the mid-1980s, his mainstream popularity had declined. He left Epic in 1986 and briefly signed with Capitol Records in 1987, where he scored a final hit in 1988 with I Didn't Every Chance I Had, peaking at number 12. He left Capitol the following year. In 1993, he recorded Run for the Border for Intersound Records and later released You Can Say That Again through the independent label Hightone. A subsequent album from Paula Records, One Bar at a Time, failed to find success. Despite his fading visibility, Rodriguez remained active, touring across the U.S. and internationally. However, in August 1998, Rodriguez faced a major legal challenge after he fatally shot a 28-year-old man in his Texas home, believing him to be a burglar. He was charged with murder, but was acquitted by a jury in October 1999. Despite this dark chapter, Rodriguez continued performing. From 1998 onward, he toured not only in the U.S., but also abroad in countries like Switzerland, Poland, South Korea, the UK, and Mexico. He graced legendary venues such as the Ryman Auditorium and Carnegie Hall. In 2012, he released his first live album, Johnny Rodriguez, live from Texas, marking a high point in his later years. Throughout his career, Rodriguez received recognition from political and cultural institutions alike. He was honored by 3 U.S. presidents, Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush, and even performed at Bush Sr.'s inaugural ball. In 2007, he was inducted into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. 3 years later, in 2010, he was presented with the Institute of Hispanic Culture's Pioneer Award, acknowledging his trailblazing role as the first major Hispanic figure in country music. On the personal front, Rodriguez experienced 3 marriages. His first wife, Linda Diane Patterson, was a flight attendant. In 1995, he married Lana Nelson, daughter of country icon Willie Nelson, though the union lasted just 7 months. His third marriage was to Debbie McNeely, a hair salon owner from San Marcos, Texas, whom he wed in 1998. Together, they had a daughter named Aubrey Ray Rodriguez, born in April that year. Rodriguez's final years were quieter, though he continued to maintain a devoted fan base and occasionally recorded or toured. He passed away on May 9, 2025, at the age of 73 after entering hospice care. His death marked the end of a trailblazing journey, one that brought a Latin influence to country music and paved the way for future generations of Hispanic artists in the genre. His legacy is preserved not only through his 6 #1 hits and numerous chart successes, but also through the cultural impact he had as a pioneering Mexican-American voice in country music. From humble beginnings in Sabinal to the heights of the Grand Ole Opry and international stages, Johnny Rodriguez left behind a rich, groundbreaking legacy in American music. And with that, thanks for watching. Give us a like, share with friends, and please subscribe.